In today's video, we will break down 10 players who I believe will have a bounce-back year in the upcoming 2021-2022 season. First up at number 10, we have Kuzma. Okay, just hear me out. Kuzma can be a solid scorer when he's in the right situation. In his rookie year with the Lakers, he was able to score 20 points or more on 18 games, all of which he played as a starter. He has also shown improvements on the defensive end, and with his length, there's no doubt he still can develop that in his game. During Kuz's last season with the Lakers, he averaged 13 points per game, shooting 44% from the field. He did not get a lot of touches in the playoffs and only averaged 6 points per game on 8 shot attempts. Now that he's traded to the Washington Wizards, this is certainly a better situation for Kuzma to flourish as an all-around player. The Wizards obviously have less star power in their roster, but they play with a higher tempo when it comes to scoring, which can benefit Kuzma. Next, at number 9, we have Klay Thompson. Game 6 of the NBA Finals 2019. That was the last time we saw Klay in an NBA game. He missed the entire 2020 season, and unfortunately, while working his way back, he suffered another injury setback, forcing him to miss 2 full seasons. Now that Klay is nearing his return, the Golden State Warriors can easily be one of the teams to beat in the Western Conference. In the 2019 season, Klay averaged 21 points per game, shooting 40% from 3. And with the Warriors off-season, they also acquired shooters in Otto Porter Jr. and Nemanja Bjelica, who are going to provide even more floor spacing for this team. In a recent interview of Steve Kerr, he said, "I don't want to put any pressure on the date because it's not going to be at the start of the season. It's not going to be the first game. We might need to wait a little longer to see Klay back on the court, but it will surely be worth it." At number 8, we have Pascal Siakam. Siakam didn't really have a bad 2021 season, but his averages went down compared to the previous year. Most notably, his three-point shooting. He shot 30% in 2021 compared to 36% in 2020. The Raptors traded Kyle Lowry and acquired Goran Dragic in the offseason. Honestly, I don't see any significant change when it comes to Siakam's production in the upcoming season, but I'm sure that he will improve his shooting percentage. Siakam still has 3 seasons and $106 million left on his contract, and he recently expressed that he wants to remain with the Raptors. We can expect Siakam back on the court in November as he underwent a shoulder surgery in June. Next up, at number 7, we have Kristaps Porzingis. If you're thinking that Kristaps had one of the worst performances in the recent playoffs, well, you're not wrong. He only averaged 13 points in the 7 games he played while shooting 29% from 3. The Mavs traded for Porzingis in 2019 because they saw him as a perfect complement to Doncic. He can defend and can space the floor really well, but we are yet to see this as Kristaps hasn't really adapted his game to play with Luka. With the recent signing of their new head coach, Jason Kidd, Dallas fans can hope for changes that Kidd will have his ways in helping KP return to his all-star form. At number 6, we have Dennis Schroeder. After declining an $80 million offer with the Lakers, Schroeder signed a 1-year deal with the Celtics for $5 million. He had a rather underwhelming postseason with the Lakers, averaging 14 points per game. He was also one of the Laker players who missed a number of games due to COVID health and safety protocols. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think Schroeder will be a good fit with the Celtics. The team does not really have a lot of point guards in their roster after trading Kemba Walker in the offseason. Schroeder can be a decent shooter and he defends well considering his size. Dennis is a high-level player and competitor who has consistently impacted winning with his play on both ends of the court, Celtics president Brad Stevens said. Moving on to number 5, we have Tyler Herro. Just 1 year ago, rookie Tyler Herro was becoming one of the best shooters in the league. Some even label Herro and Robinson the next Splash Brothers. No one saw Herro's bubble performance coming. He averaged 16 points while shooting 38% from 3 in the playoffs. But in the previous season, all of his playoff stats dropped. He only scored 9 points per game while shooting 31% from 3 on 5 attempts. They were swept by the Bucks in the first round. With Duncan Robinson starting at shooting guard, we can expect that Herro will continue to come off the bench. And I think that's good for him. He's going to be the first Heat player off the bench and should be an explosive scorer. We can also see the Heat manage Kyle Lowry's minutes during the regular season, which will provide more touches for Herro. Number 4, we got Ben Simmons. Man, this one's tough. Sixers fans have been trusting the process for a good 5 years now, and there's always nothing but postseason disappointment every year. But to be fair, since the beginning of his career, we didn't really see Simmons to be a lethal scorer in the league, right? He's an elite defender, a great rebounder, and has unbelievable court vision. Other than that, the only problem he has is his shooting. Simmons' career free throw percentage is 60%, 28% in mid-range, and 14% in three-pointers. Tough, really. At age 25 and going into his 5th NBA season, it's hard to predict that he'll ever be going to improve his shooting. But in my opinion, he doesn't have to. If you are a Simmons fan, I think your best bet is to have him on a different team with plenty of good shooters. There's not a lot of hope left for the 76ers to get a ring with the Embiid-Simmons tandem. Many say that Simmons' best qualities do not outdo the bad, but I disagree. The 3-time All-Star has elite skills aside from, well, shooting. At number 3, we have CJ McCollum. McCollum is no doubt a great player. His offense repertoire rivals the best scorers in the Blazers franchise history. But the question is, can he and Lillard win a championship together? Well, for the upcoming season, the answer to that is no. Just look at the players Portland has acquired over the offseason. But this doesn't mean that McCollum won't redeem himself. He averaged 20 points per game in the recent playoffs, but we all felt that Dame didn't really get the help he needed during crunch time situations. They have lost in the first round for 2 straight seasons. And with McCollum earning over $30 million a year, we only expect him to deliver more for his team. At number 2, we have Jimmy Butler. Not long ago, Butler had this reputation that he's not a good locker room guy, that he's the one who's initiating the tension among players. But we learned that this isn't really the case. He led the Heat to NBA Finals just 2 seasons ago and proved that his leadership is one of a kind. But it can't be just leadership that he'll provide. With him being one of the highest paid players in the game, if you're a Heat fan, well, you just expect more production from him on the court. In the 2021 playoffs, Butler averaged only 14 points per game where they were swept by the Bucks, who eventually took home the trophy. His shooting average dramatically went down from almost 50% to 30%. With the addition of Kyle Lowry, we can only expect that this is an upgrade from Dragic. They also acquired PJ Tucker, who will be an additional defensive stud for the team. Hold up, before we go to number 1, make sure to hit the like button if you're enjoying this content. It will only take a second, and it will help this channel a lot. Finally, at number 1, we have Russell Westbrook. When we talk about Westbrook redeeming himself, we're not talking about stats. The guy averaged triple-double last season. I put Westbrook on top of this list because, contrary to popular opinion, I think the Westbrook-LeBron-AD trio will work. We can only expect Westbrook playing for his hometown to be even more intense and fierce on the court. Westbrook will be an additional ball handler for the Lakers and will be a huge help in taking some of the load off of LeBron's plate. With the Lakers acquiring shooters like Trevor Ariza, Carmelo Anthony, Malik Monk, Wayne Ellington, and Kendrick Nunn, Russ will have plenty of opportunities to lead the team's offense. Westbrook is going into his 14th season and is 32 years old. If the Lakers play their cards right, this can be the year Melo and Russ get their first championship rings.